Hi guys, for this project of the Soutache, you need 6 threads, 2 of each color. What I'm going to do is something that I think would be called, for me, if I have to make it up, a Candywrapper stitch. By lack of any other name for it, I don't know if Soutache has certain names for certain stitches, but I wanted to do this thing on both sides, and I've been playing with it here, but this doesn't look really good, so I'm going to start all over again with a new kind of bead, and I'm taking a little bit of a bigger bead for the middle. This is just a plastic bead. I bought a whole bag of what I call crappy beads to play with and see what will come of it. In order to start this one, this is the ends are well, the threads are coming loose at the end of this kind of thread, and so I just put some tape on there, thanks to Lynn, good tip, so that it will be easier to work with. And what we're going to start with is 1. So let me put this aside. The first one, which is the thickest one, I think still this is cotton. I understood from Lynn that the middle one, that is also strong but not as strong, is polyester, and I already knew that this really weak one is rayon. So I got like the 3 that I like to work with, and I'm starting with the cotton one. So I got about an arm span of fire line, size 006 on my thread, and I'm going to put a knot at the end and just kind of pull that knot pretty much to the end. And I'm going to go in my braid upwards, because you want your knots to be on the bottom, and you got to make sure that you go, let me see, kind of in the middle. Yeah, that's a good spot. Upwards, so your knot is on the inside of your Soutache. And even the first one is pretty hard to get in the middle, but there we go. And now I'm going back in that same spot, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my bead. I got beads with big holes here, very nice. You can go through there several times. I'm going in there, and if you want, you can also use needles. This is a tip from Zena. I will have both links for Zena and Lynn underneath my video with their tips and tricks. You can, for instance, just go like this and then just push it through there and, you know, hold that tight. I'm just sticking in my fingers with the needle, so I'm not going to do that, but it's a good tip. I'm going to take this thread, put it a little bit on the side like that, and now I'm going to go into the other side. Also a little bit towards the side of it, so not exactly underneath the hole, because you don't want your threads to go straight up. You need to attach the other side later on, and you will need some space. So as you can see now, if I pull that out, the thread is coming out and going down. Now we need to go back in on pretty much the same spot. Go back into the other side, and then you can see if it's a little bit too far away from the hole, you can just kind of grab it a little higher like that. And now we need to go back one more time. And I'm going back into the hole, and make sure you don't stick right through your Soutache. Just get it out of the way and pull that up tight, and then we're just going to leave it there. Now I'm going to cut off this extensive thread, and I'm going to grab my next piece of Soutache. Also, this is also the cotton one, and I'm going to go to the other side and do exactly the same. I'm going to measure that pretty much like that in the middle. And now I'm going to go into my other thread right there. And I'm going back down into the hole. And now I go a little to the side in there. And that also goes back in, splitting these open. You gotta be careful with your thread because it will go around your braids. Okay, I pretty much got that, and now I'm thinking like maybe close it up a little bit more. Maybe here. So you can always change that area where you want to close it up. If you want to close it up a little further, going up again. Like that. And now we're going into the side. Right here. Both sides look the same, so I can always twist and turn it around if I like to. You got a little bit of a hole here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to close that up. With 2 stitches. And as I said, this is really annoying, but it will happen. Nothing you can do about that. That's why your thread that you're working with shouldn't be too long. And I'm going back in there. And we can add a little bead later on right here in the middle. Okay, and now we're going to take our next 2 braids and we're going to put them on there. And stick them in here. Get the first 2 braids on there. And stick back. And make sure that you get out around that same area where your needle came out of your first braid. And I'm going in between. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go in above my hole. And I'm going to get the braid, push that in there, make that curve. So that curves along. And then I'm going to go stick it back again. Okay, that looks good. And now we're just going to add the 2 braids to the top layer. And baby steps on the top. Just basically going back almost on the same spot. Hold your braid tight and just go like that. Taking a baby step back, making sure I'm in the middle though. And just taking a little bit of a jump right here. I'm trying to go straight up, but it's very difficult. Right there. And back. And in. And straight back. And in again. Straight back. In again. And straight back. In again. Straight back. You gotta make sure that your soutache stays aligned. And now we're getting to the curvy part. In and back underneath or above the hole. Go up again. And now to the other side. Go a little lower. Get the threads together like that. And now we're going to add the other two braids. And we're going to do the same thing as we just did on the other side. Coming straight back above the hole. And you got a good curve already there. And you might wonder why I haven't added that bead right away. That's because first I want to make sure that all my round beads are on there, and that bead wouldn't be in the way if I need to go into the area of where the hole is. And you will see that there's a little bit of space, but if we get this more close together later on, it will be okay. And now we're going to add our first round bead. And that is going to go on here. Now, my favorite way to do this is just hold it and just every time pick up the bead. But Zena had a good plan, and that was pretty much working with needles. Now, I'm going to be sticking in my fingers, so I don't really want to do that. But I'm going to show you what she did. Is you need to go in here with your needle and go towards where the hole is above this bead. So if you don't have a problem working with needles and you don't stick them in your fingers, you could try to position the bead that you have like that and around it, and try sticking that in there, of course in the middle. And then going into the bead. Like that. And you can work your way around it like this, actually. So you could just, because it's already tight, but I'm going to be sticking in my finger, so I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to hold my curve and go up. So for everybody works differently, and that's the fun, because right now Sina and Lynn are also learning how to do the Soutache, and it's just fun to see how everybody finds their own way in doing this the easiest for them. However, there might be a good plan if you just take, for instance, this one, or this one. You could already put one of the beads in there, hold that with the needle, and already sort of form your curve. That would be a good plan, wouldn't it? Sort of a pre-form. Let's see if that works. I gotta do them all four of them anyway. And I got that one. Yeah, that would be a good plan. Just kind of stick it in there so it doesn't stick in your finger. Nah, that will ruin the curve here. So, yeah, let's see how that works. In the meanwhile, I'm just going to pick up my bead, find my curve, hold that, and just stick it through there, like I did with the previous video. And after a while, when you get really good at this, you really don't need this kind of picking up the pearl every time, because you will already pretty much know how big that curve needs to be. cut off your thread, make a new knot, and let's see how things went on the pre-curve here. That's pretty good. I think I'll do that one over here also. There. Taking a knot, going in, oh, let me take that back a little bit, there, going in on the middle, working my way up, And there you have it. And now you need to do the other two sides. I'm going to cut these off. And I'm going to take my tape tape. There, and that should be easier to work with when you do the other two sides. So yeah, go ahead, do the other two sides, and that just leaves us with adding a bead here, which we'll do later. And this is how it looks on the back. I cut off both ends, taped up something, and made sure that they fitted right next to each other. So that's that for this tutorial, and just click on the link to go see the next tutorial to go on with this piece.